Bolivar beaches, an issue near and dear to everybody's heart. Okay, so the county regulates the beaches, they're state beaches. We regulate the beaches pursuant to what's called a beach access plan, which is a regulatory plan that's adopted by the county after it's approved by the General Land Office. So there's a partnership. The GLO has to approve the beach access plan as well as any changes to the plan. We are currently having discussions about amending the plan. We're talking about the beach sticker fee and increasing the county's flexibility to increase the beach sticker fee in the future. We're not looking to do it now, but we have talked to them about being able to have the ability to generate additional revenue. Just so you're aware, the GLO is talking to us about driveway regulations. They're saying, hey, we'd really like to put additional restrictions on the width of driveways that are being constructed near the beach, basically land use regulations. The county, I am concerned about this issue. In fact, I called one of my contacts at the GLO yesterday and said, hey, I may need some help on this issue and help pushing back on this. So when I talked about sort of like the relationship with the agency, this is some of where these things come up. I said, hey, you know, we're doing you favors. It'd be nice if you did us some favors. It was that kind of conversation.
These are on private driveways?
On private driveways. So the state has the ability to regulate private driveways within a couple of 100 feet of the beach line.
Has there been any question or anything raised, any conversation about restricting driving on the beach?
No. We have talked about camping on the beach. There have been some problems with people staying a long time on the beach. We had a bill that was introduced in the legislature this session which did not make it out of committee, and so we don't have the ability to put any direct regulations on camping. We can, however, potentially regulate that through our beach access plan, and so we can put in place potentially restrictions that say, for example, you can't camp in one spot for more than a week and then you have to pick up and move, and you have to take care of your waste, and you have to do this, you know, do it in a cleanly manner. That would give our law enforcement officials a more direct way of stepping in and intervening when someone starts to be on the beach for an extended period of time in the same place. So that's an issue we're looking at. And then lastly, ATVs on the beach. We allow ATVs in Galveston County's beaches. The sheriff has mentioned that this is not really something that's allowed in other jurisdictions. I don't want to get into a lengthy discussion about this issue. We're generally kind of leave people alone kind of people. We're not really big on regulations. But if we were going to restrict the use of ATVs on the beach, using the beach access plan would be likely one vehicle that we would use to do that. God, it gets complicated.
I can uncomplicate it for you.
Public beaches are public roadways, and you're allowed to drive cars and other licensed vehicles on the beach. There is a specific state law that allows golf carts to be driven on public roads if they're configured in a particular way. Therefore, you can drive your golf cart, if it's properly configured with the license plate and et cetera. I don't know the details, but there's specifics. You can drive it on the public roadways to get to the beach, and you can drive it on the beach because the beach is a public roadway. The other vehicles are not public vehicles. You can't drive them on public roads. And so that then it is clearly a violation of state law, whether you're driving at a block or 10 feet to get from your house to the beach. The question then becomes a matter of discretion on the part of the law enforcement agencies and whether they're going to enforce it or not. Law enforcement officials in Galveston County do not work for me. They are independently elected. That is not my decision. No control over it. No commissioners who tell sheriffs and constables how to do their law enforcement duties are frowned upon. Can I get an amen, constable? Commissioners budget, manage, and constables constable. Trash. Trash, we had, I think, big improvements this year in terms of the trash. Who would agree with me? Big improvements on the trash. Let's give a round of applause to our Bolivar beautiful friends.
Ryan, Mother Nature helped. We didn't have
okay. The seaweed helped. We significantly increased the number of the beach barrels, the number of pickups, thanks to Lee for managing that. and the total volume of beach litter that was found strewn around the beaches this year went down. Lee and I are talking, we're probably going to increase the number of barrels and pickups further again this year. Probably not as dramatically as last year because it probably don't need to, but we will be expanding that further. But we feel like we're mostly getting this part of it under control. Signage, we've started work on signage program. We have large 6x10 kiosk signs giving directions and information at various beach access points that are going to be installed by the end of the calendar year. We've erected so far about 75 no littering warning signs. And we are working with TxDOT about trying to get access signs on 87 telling people where the beach access points are. Lee and I continue to be frustrated with that process. TxDOT's not a real big fan of signage along Highway 87. Again, it's not our roadway. We have to continue to lobby them. He's saying that we need to increase the awareness of the need for the sticker. I agree with you. We have made some progress this year, a little bit on that front with those little placards and things, but we do have a long way to go. I would like to see signs on the ferries coming over. I'd like to see a sign coming in down off of High Island as you come into the county that direction. We agree. We have a ways to go on that. Constable.
What is the penalty for people that don't have stickers down?
We can include that into the beach access plan. I don't recall what the penalty is immediately, but generally if there's a law enforcement officer telling them, you know, get lost or buy a sticker, I mean, generally people have been compliant. The problem is there's nobody in authority to, you know, to tell them to enforce it.
The only thing I've seen is the people selling the stickers are the ones that catch the ones that don't have them. The cops haven't messed with it.
Is there, okay, so by show of hands, how many people think it's a good idea that we put in $250,000 to $270,000 in year one into a project to put security out on the beach, out of the beach sticker fund? Okay. All right. Okay, thank you. Restrooms. We're continuing to work the issue. I don't want to spend a whole lot of time. Realistically, I hope, you know, it would be nice to have a plan sometime by spring, but realistically, our best case scenario is to try to address the security issues this coming season and maybe have a plan in place to address the restrooms sometime early next year so that we could then move toward it. I am looking at a couple of on-site options. We continue to work the problem. Cost is an issue. We also have staff looking at a couple of mobile options. Yes, sir.
Any of this gonna make it down past rollover? Well, what will be rollover?
It should. It should. It should. Other questions on Bolivar beaches? Awesome. Bolivar beaches?
Well, I know you're expecting an argument out of me.
No, ma'am, I'm not.
Say thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. I'm not expecting an argument.
Everything that I've taught you on last year.
Thank you.